let present pressures point us to radical realities. And I'm excited to preach and to hear this message for myself. The first reality that I want to share with you all is the reality of our most hopeless problem. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 11. Therefore remember that at one time you Gentiles in the flesh, called the uncircumcision by what is called the circumcision, which is made in the flesh by hands. Stop there just quick. Gentiles, that's just a broad term for people who are not Jewish. Okay, the Jews were, yes, Judaism is a religion, but it's not something you kind of sign up for. You're born into it. It's also a race, Jewish race. And if you're not a Jew, then you're a Gentile. And now Paul, in the letter to the Ephesians, he was talking to Gentiles. We are all Gentiles. None of us are Jews here. So he's saying, remember that at one time, you Gentiles in the flesh. Okay, verse 12. Remember that you were at that time separated from Christ, alienated from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenant of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. That was our reality. Because we were not part of God's chosen people, we were born Filipino, not Jewish, okay? At one time, we were Gentiles in the flesh, and so we were separated from people of God. That's just how it is. And he's trying to make a point here. You're separated from Christ, alienated, strangers, no hope. Okay, I hope you're getting the message here. It's a very deep problem that we have as people who aren't Jews. And it really is a deep problem. What it's saying here, we were alienated, we were strangers, we were enemies of God. And I think of all the pressures that we may have now. I think of all the pains, all the hurts, all the failed exams or failed relationships, all the difficulties that are there. They're all very valid, and yes, feel all of those. But never lose sight of this one reality, that if you sum up all human pain that has ever been felt, okay, from back then to now, including your life, all that human pain, you sum it up, and you put it right next to the damage that God can inflict, it will be like a match in the middle of a furnace. It's like adding something really small to something so huge. We were enemies of God. You may have problems now, but understand, please accept that your biggest problem was that you were an enemy of God. That's huge. You can't say that's nothing. Let me read to you what God thinks about Gentiles. You don't have to go here, it's just a song. It says this: Moab is my washbin. Upon Edom I cast my shoe. Over Philistia I shout in triumph. Moab, Edom, and Philistia. These were Gentile nations during the time of this Psalter, this psalmist. Okay? What does this mean? Moab is my washbin. Upon Edom I cast my shoe. So I think of great armies, okay? Skilled warriors, fully equipped, armed to the teeth. And they're in array, and their armor is glistening in the sun, and they cover the horizon, and they're there at your doorstep. They're gonna kill you. Okay? Imagine that. Armies uniting against you and wanting to destroy you. Let me ask you, wouldn't that change your life a little bit? Wouldn't that inconvenience you? Oh my gosh, it would. And that drives us nuts. We'd have no hope there. But here, God, these armies are arrayed against God. Okay? And what does God do? All these armies, very angry and enemies of God, what does God do? Moab is my washbin. Upon Edom I cast my shoe. At the sight of these armies, God is washing his feet. He's at home. He's at his leisure. He's taking off his shoes. May army pala. He throws the shoe down. Oh, I killed you. I'm sorry. God is not for a second worried or anxious about these armies. He's not, I'm gagawin ko, dami ko kailangan gawin. That's not like that. God's washing his feet. He's not phased at all. Kawawa naman ang mga kalaban ni God. When you think about it. Another thing, it says He will bring back on them their iniquity and wipe them out for their wickedness. The Lord our God will wipe them out. For behold your enemies, O Lord, for behold your enemies shall perish. All evildoers shall be scattered. That was our situation back then. God would rip us apart. Jesus said, fear not him who can kill the body, and after that, do nothing more. Fear him who can destroy both body and soul in hell. Who's that? Who can destroy both body and soul in hell? It's God. We think that Satan is in hell somehow on his throne with a pitchfork, and he's laughing and he's torturing people. We think that Satan is the king of hell. No, God is the king of hell. The torture and the penalty and the punishment that's there is not inflicted by Satan, it is inflicted by God. God will rip apart every soul. God is angry at sin. It is not fun to be an enemy of God. To be an enemy of God is the equivalent of 500 breakups, of 10,000 bankruptcies, of 100 cancers combined times 10,000. So whatever stresses you may be going through, you may feel like, you may be a person who thinks that, okay, my problems aren't that big compared to other people. Or you may be somebody who thinks, why is the world falling on me, But whatever side of the spectrum you are in, all of that, understand, is a decimal point in the wrath that God can inflict. And that was our problem. There's no way you could solve that. Could you stand against the living God and say, God, don't do that to me? Oh my God. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. And so in our pressures now, in our problems, I'm not saying just forget your problems. I'm saying don't let your problems paralyze you and say, oh, you're frozen. What I'm saying is, okay, let that present pressure, just think of your problem now, and then you say, okay, this is what hell is like. Only 10,000 times worse. And so now you get a feel of what hell is like. You get a feel of what it's like to be an enemy of God. And with that, you can move